This is the Pandoras box 4S HD. It's a multi-cart chip, whatever the hell you want to call it, board that has 680 arcade games on it. This is a gamepad. They call different things, fight sticks, whatever. Basically meant to emulate the arcade feel. I bought it as one whole unit with this already mounted into it. I've done a few things under here, but not much. I had to replace some buttons. I'll probably replace the the gates for the joysticks with octagons. Right now they're the totally free ones, which those are all right, but I think octagon's a nice happy medium between free and structure, just so that I can play games like Pac-Man and then go right into Street Fighter afterwards, and it still feel basically good for both. So that's that. But the real point of this video is this. This is a dock I made for the fight pad, whatever the fuck you want to call it. I'm gonna call it fight pad throughout the thing. Nice having in between gamepad and fight stick. It's fight pad. Fuck off. Anyway, I made this to emulate an arcade cabinet. This is a Midway, another multi-cart thing. Got it a couple years ago just to have some arcade games in the basement. But I bought this, liked it, but the only problem I found with this, really, is that given its design, it's kind of awkward to play two players with people. It is a two-player pad, but if I just hook it up to my HDMI TV, then you have to sit it on your lap, sit on their lap, or you have to put it on a table and then play it. But it's not really stable on a table, like, you know, especially when you're jerking this around, pushing buttons, shit gets intense. You know, it's kind of hard to play. I think normally you buy this for yourself. Most of them that I see are a one-player one, but I have this two-player one, and I thought, okay, well, I want this to be as one-to-one arcade experience as I can, and that's why I built this dock. And actually, this is what the video is going to be about, so I won't go too much into 4S. There's plenty of people online that go into it and what it is, and the emulators that were on it, and quality. So I'm only going to be talking about the ones relevant. But the point is the dock. So I made this dock meant to, again, emulate an arcade cabinet. First thing to talk about is the shape. First, to kind of combat the table sliding or the lap sitting thing, I made a nice little frame that fits the box in pretty snug, or the fight pad, pretty snug. Slip it in. Doesn't really wiggle around much. Does a little bit. I might put some cardboard, paint it black, nail gun, staple gun, whatever it into the back. I'll probably just use one of those industrial staple things. But anyway, and then I have the side, and that's the power button, which is actually an oversight. I originally planned this whole thing out, and yeah, for some reason I thought the power button was on the back, so that was actually an extra thing I did last minute. Which, you know, you don't give a fuck about that. In the back, right here, I have this gate, these little holes in it. And the point is to get cables through the back. Let's see if I can find the HDMI. There we go. The point is to throw the cables through the back, let it go through the TV, or the power strip I put back there. And they just go through here. That way they're not really exposed or going over here. Because I kind of want everything to be contained and kind of out of the way. I don't want people to be able to unplug or fuck with any of the stuff. So that's all back there. I built a shelf. Shelf is for the TV, or the monitor. This is an Acer 27-inch monitor. It's all right. I got it on sale. There's no sound output, but amazingly, this does have a sound output. So we're not really at a loss there. The sound sounds fine here. Comes out here. So I made this gate so that it'll kind of like go. The sound will travel through. I didn't want to just be right against it because then it would be muffled. I wanted to have this kind of open design. I thought it would sound better. The sound does sound like it's coming from here, so that's good. So yeah, I guess I'll power it on just to kind of better explain the rest of the features of the dock, because that's really what it is. It's a dock. It's not really an arcade cabinet. I think the opening thing is going to play. It's kind of loud. Yeah, it's got this. It sounds like Fallout Boy. I don't know who the hell what the song is, but it shows 3D footage, CGI cinematics for games that actually aren't on here. Like Knights of Valor's on here, but I don't know if this is like a Knights of Valor. It reminds me kind of Warriors of Raichi or Dynasty Warriors. I don't know if that's some sort of PS4 version of that, and they just took the cinematic. I don't know. I have a lot of questions about that opening. But anyway, so here we are. It's loading. Which, not yet. So, fits right in. I measured everything, made sure it was perfect. So that looks from the side. It juts out. Basically, I wanted to get the same kind of like depth going on here, but rather than put the monitor down so that you're looking down, and rather than the fight pad being placed lower, I kind of wanted it to be higher, and I wanted the monitor to be higher as well and facing the person so that you're not like slumped over like a ghoul. You're just looking at it and playing it. And I think this is a pretty good design. Personally, works for me, works for my friends. The other features that I've done, aside from just the stability of it, because for something I've built, it's basically the first thing I've built, it's pretty stable. I think I went into it pretty conservatively and came out with a sturdy product. But anyway, so the other things I've done is I have decided to kind of compensate for the lack of alphabetization. I've never had to say that. Alphabetized library. There we go. In the game. As you'll notice, we're on page 1. Well, actually, no. That's page 1. First game is King of Fighters. Game begins with a K. As you might have guessed, this is not in alphabetical order. But with 680 games, it gets kind of insane to figure out where the hell a game is. So, what I decided to do to fix that is I made these lists. These nice laminated lists of all the games that are in the cabinet. It's all alphabetized. The quality on the video might be kind of shitty. Let me see if I can. Yeah, it looks a lot better than that. Than what's probably showing up on the vid, but yeah, I made these lists. And what I did was a couple things. The games start from numbers that go into letters all the way to Z, and you think of it kind of like a glossary or an index or whatever. Basically, you look for the name of the game you want to play. So let's say we want to play. Fuck, let's say we want to play Dig Dug. That's 589. I think the video is kind of shitty, but I can clearly see it in reality. And so Dig Dug. So next to Dig Dug is 589. To make it easier in a sense, since it's 589, you would go to page 58 and look for 58. Oh, oops, you know what? That's not how it works. Okay, 589. Shit. Ready?
Yeah, I should probably mention. Let me get rid of this. So, what just happened there is another feature. If you're not aware of the Pandora's box at all, it's got a time limit on the game select screen. So, you might be looking for a game. Maybe looking a while for a game. This timer's going on. If it goes all the way down to 0, then it's going to pick whatever game you're on, which is kind of inconvenient. But at the same time, it kind of has that arcadey feel where it's like, select your fighter and you have that time limit or continue. So it's within theme, but it is inconvenient when you're just like at home, trying to play something and really look through your library. But anyway, we were trying to find Dig Dug. So in our case, it was 589. 589 Dig Dug, and the numbers are all sequential. It's just it's not alphabetized. So again, alphabetized, the game number's right there. The game numbers are in order. That's how you do it. And it's much easier just to find the games and then just to know what's on the board itself, because I didn't know what the hell was on this board. I did in that I looked. I did know in that I looked at the game list, but you don't really know, or at least I don't really know everything that's on the board because I didn't memorize all 600 games. I know some general things. Like I was like, oh, cool, fucking Street Fighter Alpha 3 is on here. The Alien vs. Predator arcade game, oh, that's cool. Stuff like that. Mega Man Power Battles. But there's so much other stuff that I'm finding out as I play this. It's a really fun experience. 600 games is a lot to chew on, so I'm gonna have a lot of fun discovering all these games. See that time limit? Yeah, before that happens again. But anyway, so there's that. The other thing I did in regards to the lists is the name of the games in here. Some of them are abbreviations. Some of them are just missing part of the title, which I guess you could say is an abbreviation, but it feels more like a lack of information. And then other examples are games that have a title, but that title isn't the English title. So I grew up in North America. A lot of these games, I know them as their localized titles. So one example would be Darkstalkers. Darkstalkers is on here. Darkstalkers is a Capcom game. It's a Capcom fighting game. You've probably seen some of the characters in it if you've played Marvel vs. Capcom. I feel like more people have played that than the actual Darkstalkers game. But anyway, games like that, they have a Japanese name. Their Japanese name is on here, and I think Darkstalkers was Vampire Hunter. It might have been Vampire Slayer. I think it was Vampire Hunter though. And so in those cases, I put the English version of the game or the name on the list. So here, Darkstalkers, number 64. So in this case, we find 64 and Vampire Hunter. So the lists are more accurate to the names people are familiar with than the game. And that was just to kind of so that I didn't have to explain it every time someone comes over and wants to play a game. So I did that to make the list easier, because lists are cool, but if you name a game and that did come out in America, but then you don't put the American name, some people just aren't going to know it. So it's still alphabetized and easy, but it's not quite as convenient. So I did that for extra convenience. I think it's cool. Other things like Mega Man Power Battle was just Mega Man in here, which just Mega Man made me think, oh, the NES Mega Man game is included on here. But no, it was Power Battle, which I'm happy with. Power Battles 2 is on here too. So yeah. But that's about all for the dock itself and the things that I did. The alphabetizing, just design, the way it all fits together. I probably won't cover up the monitor base or anything, just because there's not really a point. I get that it lacks that kind of closed monitor shell aesthetic, but it's not too important to me to have that. I did chew on that for a while. I did kind of think, oh, you know what? It's an inferior thing because of that. But I was, no one's looking at this and thinking, oh, it's a real arcade cabinet. Wow. So I'm not really losing anything, I think. But yeah, 64 inches tall. I might make some modifications underneath of it just to make some of it a little more easy to move around. Something smoother, so I'm not like walking it because I've had to move this. In order to move it, I have to like rock it back and forth on the corners as kind of like feet. And sometimes it chips the paint, so I might do that. But other than that, the dock itself is basically done. The fuck is the video? Sorry. How long was it like that? Shit. Oh look, there's Vampire Hunter. There we go. That's how you leave, by the way. So anyway, yeah, that's the dock. That's about it for that. There's only one other thing I did, but I think I'll show it. But I'll need a minute. I'll tell you. Alright. So the only other thing I did was this is as dark as I can make it in the room. I have this screen light or curtain light basically comes through, but during nighttime everything's dark. I have this LED light shines underneath. Looks a lot nicer in the dark, but the light comes through back. It's not really showing up too well, but in reality the top of this is like greenish blue. Down here it's pretty purple, but I'm looking at the footage and it's kind of like focused in two spots. I think it's the camera's not able to pull up or see all the light and how it's spreading. But so I have those LEDs. I might get better LEDs. God damn it. Anyway, might get better LEDs. But that's the only thing I think I would modify to the dock itself, other than the sliding board underneath, just to make it easier to move around. And other than that, unrelated to the dock, I might put some octagonal gates underneath the joysticks because I prefer those. But yeah, that's the dock. I guess I'll end the video with a picture of it or something. And I don't really watch videos because for all I know, no one will watch this. But if you do, I hope you found it, I don't know, cool or whatever. See ya.